The Assassin's Creed motto is "Nothing is true, everything is permitted." Last week's Assassin's Creed Shadows and Attack on Titan crossover certainly proved it. Ubisoft isn't just incompetent, it's divided as well. Multiple studios are pulling the franchise in conflicting directions for the same audience. Each has their own vision, with Ubisoft Montreal's sprawl-first power fantasy, Ubisoft Quebec's dual protagonist systems, and Ubisoft Bordeaux' compact stealth old-school approach. This tug-of-war breaks expectations, muddies the value proposition, and keeps fans guessing about quality. I'm a strategy consultant who breaks down the real business decisions behind gaming's biggest moves. If this kind of evidence-led RPG analysis helps, subscribe for more. Today, I'll show why Assassin's Creed is a house divided, and with or without the newly formed Vantage Studios, it won't change anytime soon. Assassin's Creed Valhalla was developed by Ubisoft Montreal and launched in November 2020. The same team had previously shipped Assassin's Creed Origins, which kickstarted the series' modern RPG era. Valhalla extended this RPG template into a Viking setting at a uniquely favorable release window. The win was timing first, identity second. Valhalla was engineered for mass market engagement, a vast map, repetitive raid and loot cycles, limited side quest structure with unrewarding payoffs. The franchise's identity conflict is visible inside the game. RPG progression and mythic quest lines are favored over legacy social stealth mechanics, optimizing for time on platform more than stealth simulation. The popular show Vikings introduced global audiences to Ragnar Lothbrok and pulled the Norse saga from niche to mainstream. The series broadened its reach on streaming, and late 2020 lockdown stretched gaming sessions, rewarding scale, routine, and escape. Valhalla stepped into that surge with a sandbox built to consume hours. That timing worked. Valhalla set new franchise benchmarks and ultimately surpassed $1 billion in lifetime revenue. This outcome strengthened executive conviction to concentrate future bets on Assassin's Creed as the flagship of Ubisoft's future strategy. That strategy didn't resolve the brand's identity conflict. It financed competing answers with multiple studios, starting with Ubisoft Bordeaux, lifting the Valhalla engine to build the opposite of a Viking RPG, an old-school Assassin's Creed game. Assassin's Creed Mirage began as a Valhalla DLC, then graduated to its own standalone entry. This is where the identity split shows. Bordeaux built a game about an assassin, not a Greek mercenary or a Viking power fantasy. It returned to the early 2010s formula that built the core fanbase, an audience divided on the RPG era and asking for classic Assassin's Creed design elements. Mirage featured dense parkour routes, a deliberate stealth toolkit with throwing knives, smoke bombs and blow darts, and social stealth with distractions and crowd blending. Detection risk is the tension, and assassinations are the goal, not a waypoint to the mythic brawl. Return to Roots found traction with over 10 million players engaging in Mirage. Ubisoft funded a free expansion, Valley of Memory, delivering hours of content with handcrafted cinematics and voice performances that feel acted, not read. Strategically, Bordeaux showed a lean, focused team can deliver quality at lower scope risk. It established brand viability but remained the underdog while bloat persisted elsewhere, with the Quebec studio developing the next mainline entry, Assassin's Creed Shadows. Quebec are Ubisoft's dual protagonist specialists. AC Syndicate in 2015 with Jacob and Evie, AC Odyssey in 2018 with Cassandra and Alexios, and now AC Shadows with Naoe and Yasuke. Each stirred debate, from Syndicate's mustache-twirling villains to Odyssey not having an assassin as a protagonist. Shadows launched on updated tech with dynamic weather and changing seasons having gameplay effects. On a landscape level, it's the best the series has looked. The problem wasn't the mountains. It was the people. Writing, acting, mocap, and animation around the two leads landed flat. The cinematic dynamism and lively side narratives that made Odyssey feel alive were replaced by stilted delivery, conservative staging, and performances that didn't read as next-gen. The tech could render a storm, but struggled to sell a conversation. The Attack on Titan crossover crystallized this shortcoming. The headline moment had Yasuke shouting at a towering Titan in a cutscene widely criticized for wooden animation and tone. A brief run from the Titan mission with cutscenes that look generations old points to an oversight failure from creative to QA. Timing sharpened the contrast. A week before, Mirage's free Valley of Memory delivered 6+ hours of directed, character-led story. Bordeaux's tight execution one Friday, Quebec's polarizing crossover the next. The identity split had resulted in conflicting quality for the same brand name. All of this followed a year where Star Wars Outlaws underperformed, forcing Ubisoft to push Shadows from October to 2024 to March 2025, costing millions. You'd expect a quality cleanup, but instead, standards slipped even further. The why is straightforward. Help was already on the way. Tencent's capital and creation of Vantage Studios consolidated Ubisoft's biggest IPs under a single operational house, an attempt to align strategy, budgets, and quality gates from the top down. In early 2025, Vantage Studios was formed to focus exclusively on Ubisoft's flagship IPs such as Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six, to run it as they see fit whilst remaining inside the Ubisoft group. Tencent provided roughly $1.3 billion of funding for a 25% minority stake in Vantage, locked in for 5 years. Ubisoft retains control for 2. In theory, this structure adds liquidity and operational flexibility. In practice, Assassin's Creed identity problem won't change unless leadership and creative governance change with it. The AC identity crisis of the last 5 years, now impacting quality, happened under CEO Yves Guillemot, who appointed his own son Charlie as the co-CEO of Vantage Studios. Charlie hasn't worked in any AC game in any capacity, demonstrating this move as textbook nepotism. Near-term Vantage isn't rewriting the slate. Projects announced or widely reported before Vantage's close are still moving ahead. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag is getting a rumored RPG reimagining. Assassin's Creed Hexade, developed by Montreal, is being designed as a darker, linear entry featuring a single protagonist with supernatural abilities. Invictus is a standalone multiplayer Assassin's Creed experience tied to the Infinity platform, developed by Ubisoft Annecy, reviving classic AC multiplayer ideas. The dilution of Assassin's Creed identity will continue into the near future with an RPG, a linear fantasy, and multiplayer all in various stages of development. Try doing that with another prestige IP like The Witcher and you'll be mocked, but seems par on course with Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed. All of this matters far less to Assassin's Creed primary customer, the casual buyer who sees Assassin's Creed and clicks purchase. They're not tracking org charts or creative governments, they see the logo and they buy. Demand is inelastic even when AC is in an identity crisis. Every new Assassin's Creed attracts millions of players, even Mirage passed major player milestones. Ubisoft rarely discloses sales, but repeatedly hitting 10 million players while facing public criticism is meaningful in its own terms. Casual players aren't watching YouTube rants of cutscene quality or AC is dead speeches. They're just buying 1 to 2 games a year. FIFA, Assassin's Creed, and that's their gaming. And they're satisfied. That's why nothing material changes for Assassin's Creed. As long as millions are engaging, executives read it as validation, not a warning. No course correction is required. That's how it's worked and how it likely continues until governance, not just budgets, change. If engagement holds, the identity crisis grows because the market keeps paying. Assassin's Creed is in an identity crisis. It's no longer RPG versus old school stealth. You now have RPG, classic stealth, dual protagonist, supernatural horror, and multiplayer, all financed by one outsized Viking win. The breadth confuses the core and has produced visible quality variances across studios. Vantage is the future label on the box, but with Charlie Guillemot as co-CEO, governance is unchanged. Demand remains inelastic even as the identity drifts. Every entry still pulls in millions. Mirage and Shadows cleared major milestones. Casual buyers aren't in the discourse, they buy 1 or 2 games a year and Assassin's Creed is one of them. Executives read those player counts as validations, not as a warning, so no course correction is required. If engagement holds and governance doesn't change, the identity crisis will keep growing because the market keeps paying until coherence erodes, and Assassin's Creed risks becoming a shell of itself. What do you think? Has Assassin's Creed lost its identity with so many genres of games under one franchise? Will Vantage Studios change the future? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this breakdown invaluable, hit subscribe. I analyze the real business decisions behind gaming's biggest moves every week. Until next time.